my first real experience with the Marine Corps, aside from boot camp and advanced training for sea duty, was going aboard the USS Laytag, which was a brand new ship, and our detachment of 80 Marines were aboard there for the commissioning. The ship is not ready to go to sail until she's been properly commissioned. At that time, there were 80 Marines and 120 sailors, which were referred to as a black crew. They were the people in the engine room, etc. We had the responsibility, within 3 days of landing in there and taking over the ship, of demagnetizing and loading the ship with all the ammunition it needed. For almost 2 weeks, that small contingent of people loaded all the ammunition aboard that carrier, which meant that we worked 2 8-hour shifts, did our 4-hour duty on guard duty and task, and 4 hours of sleep. That was a rough introduction into that. The Leyte first skipper was a gentleman who came out of the Alaskan waters and was very gun shy, so he spent all his time in the captain's area up on a bridge. He was always afraid we were going to run into an iceberg, even though we were doing a Mediterranean duty, or around Cuba, etc. Our first assignment was going into Guantanamo Bay, bringing people out of there, military personnel out of there, and bringing them up to Norfolk and discharging them out of there. As soon as we got there, we were immediately turned around and sent over to Chile and Peru. We had to go to the Canal Zone. The Marines' duty was security, primarily, the prison, guards for the captain and or whoever came aboard, i.e. in a flag status or star status, to be in charge, the admiral of the fleet area. We would also augment that guard group. We did Chile first, which was quite an eye-opener, because when we went to tie up, all we could see was a mass of people at the shoreways waiting to come aboard the ship. There were launches by Chilean people that were bringing them in. We had invited all the personnel, civilians, to come and visit the ship. We were the first U.S. personnel into that country since before World War II, because Chile was a neutral station. So that was a little kind of an eye-opening. The reception we got when we went ashore was literally mind-boggling. We couldn't talk to one another because we didn't understand one another. But we couldn't buy anything either. If we went into a restaurant, there'd be 10, 15, 20 people following us, insisting on paying for things. In the nation that is, at that time, was not too financially off in their populace. We had a very successful trip. We then picked up the president of Peru to accompany us as a guest to go up 3 days slow cruise and out to sea operations, and went into Peru and met that same type of reception. Kind of an eye-opener, but also an ego thing. So you got to control yourself.